The transportation system in Nigeria and Canada is totally different, and I'm going to be sharing everything that I know in this particular video. So hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking, by the title you already know, we're going to be talking about the transportation system, like basically the difference between the transportation system in Canada and in Nigeria. As you already know, I'm a proud Nigerian. I moved from Nigeria to Canada like 11 months ago, and I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I know. I don't really do a lot of public transport, but I've done my research and I'm going to be sharing that with you. So if this video is something that interests you, maybe you recently relocated to Canada, or you're in Nigeria planning to relocate to Canada, or you're in Canada, anyone basically, even if you're a Canadian, then you want to know about our country, Nigeria, okay? So you want to make sure you watch this video to the end, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and do all of that good stuff, and I'll see you in a bit. So welcome back guys. As you already know, I have all my points written in this my glorious book, and I'm just going to be reading out and be explaining everything that I have to say for this particular video. Like I said earlier, this video is for everybody, whether you just moved to Canada, whether you're planning to move to Canada, whether you just got your passport, whether you're a Canadian, even if you're not from any of these places, you still need to watch this video. I mean, there is not too much knowledge, okay? You want to have an insight and a knowledge about what I'm about to say. So when it comes to transportation system in Canada, I've not really had a lot of experience. So I had to do my research, but I've had a lot of experience with almost all the type of transportation that we have in Nigeria. So I'm just going to be comparing and contrasting and be sharing what I know with you guys basically. So let's get right into this video. The first one is, let's talk about public transportation, right? So yeah, public transportation, as you already know, is like the transportation that you take, like public transportation, like as the name implies. So basically without, like, maybe you're not using you don't have a car or something like that, or a maybe ride. Yeah, basically, so that's public transportation. And for Canada, they have the public transportation is well developed and maintained. Yes, it is well structured. So they have different public transportation systems. We have buses, we have subways, we have trains. It is highly organized, reliable. There are schedules, there are routes that everybody should follow, or you should follow, and it is reliable because you can book them online or via application. There are applications that you can actually book these rides from, that okay, you want to leave this place at this particular period of time, you want to get back this part. So everything is ready. Like for instance, if you're going to a particular place, you already know how long it's going to take you there, because everything is calculated. The bus stop to stop, where you're going to trek to, where you're going to take your bus, where you're going to take your train, the time you're going to get there. If nothing happens, trust me, you're going to get there at that time. So everything is well structured, well organized, and reliable. I really commend the Canadian government for that. Unlike Nigeria, in the public transportation in Nigeria is not as reliable as it is in Canada. So these are the public transportations that we have in Nigeria. We have napep, that's keke napep, the tricycle. We have motorcycle, that's okada, that we all know. We also have buses. We have downfall, like all these mini buses. We have Korokwe. Yeah, we have so many of those funny names like that. And it is, I would not say it's a formal way of transportation. It's actually informal, because like comparing it to Canada, that you have maybe you have a place for like an application, sorry, to use and book all this rides on. They don't have that. Our public transport does not have that in Nigeria. There is no app that I know of, or any online site they are going to book your ride from, or anything, except if you are using Uber, right? But if you're not using Uber, best believe you're going to go on the road, stop the Okada or the driver or the anything you want to wear, or the keke napep, to just board and then go where you're going to go. It is not reliable, because you might get on the road today that you're hurrying somewhere, and trust me, you're not going to find a public transport to take you to where you're going to. So it's not reliable. There are times that the roads are really congested and you will not find, okay, maybe when it's rainy you will not find Okadas will not be able to take you, keke napeps will not take you, because them too, they are running from the rain and all of that. So it's not as reliable as it is in Canada. I mean, in Canada, because they have applications and everything, you already know when and when not. So if there is not even the ride available, you know they're not going to leave your house. But in Nigeria, you have to leave your house to be able to find out if you're going to get a ride or not. So that's basically the difference when it comes to public transportations. It is well organized and well structured in Canada here compared to Nigeria. And I feel like in Nigeria, let's talk about the drivers. The drivers here are really really nice. Like yeah, they're very very nice. I have an experience. So this other day, now even I was saying something how like everything is well structured within my city. Like I stay in Oakville, right? Within Oakville here, we have something called Oakville Transit, like ride on demand. Yeah. So if when I want to go and pick my daughter from daycare, I just have to like schedule my trip or book it a day before or even a night before, even like few minutes before, and they come and pick me at the right time. They even call me and tell me, oh, your driver is arriving soon. Make sure you're outside. Sometimes they delay, sometimes they don't delay, but it's mostly reliable. So even within my city, like within my street, yes, I would say that within my street, I get to like find a reliable transport to go and pick my daughter. Unlike Nigeria, there is really nothing as such. If you want to move within streets in Nigeria, either taking a keke napep or you're taking a bike, that's Okada as we normally call it. Yeah, but it's more reliable here. Let's talk about the drivers. Looking at the drivers, right, they are very, very nice and kind in this part of the world, in the sense that okay, I have an experience. So there was anytime I go to pick my daughter, there's this particular driver that I meet. Not only him, like the other drivers do that too. So because it's snowy, yeah, because it's snowy, he would come down, hold my hands, help me down from the car, from the bus, and even bring me in. He's always very, very kind. So that is very, very beautiful. Like I've never ever experienced such. So I feel like because it's snowy and I'm holding a baby, I'm carrying her diaper bag, he feels like I can easily sleep and all of that. So he helps me all the time, which is very, very beautiful to see. They are very, very kind in this place. Like they talk to you gently, even if though when this transit I'm talking about, where you miss your bus, that's the end of it. Now the disadvantages of the transport in Canada to the transport in Nigeria is, in Canada for instance, when you miss your bus you have to wait for another bus. That's why I said, because it's highly structured and organized, when you miss a particular bus for a particular period of time, best believe you have to book another one to wait for another bus, or you just go back home because I mean you have missed it. So you have to follow timing. That's the disadvantage. In my opinion, it's a disadvantage, and it's also an advantage. But yeah, everything works in between. Compared to Nigeria, where if you miss your Okada, or there's nothing like missing anything because you didn't schedule the trip, so you can easily just stop any Okada, go anywhere you want to go at any period of time. No calculation, no thinking, no, oh, I want to book, I want to, don't want to book. Yeah, all of that. So that's an advantage for Nigerian part. I mean, you can just go out on the street and get yourself out of the house and just go to where you want to go to free of charge. Sorry, not free of charge, like without hassle, without having to book, and all of that shenanigans. Yeah, so that's that about that. And talking about the transportation in Canada versus Nigeria, I love how well they prioritize disability people that are disabled here. Yeah, people living with disabilities, they prioritize them a lot. Best believe if you're entering a bus, there is something, I don't know what it's called, that they would like bring out for maybe someone that's on wheelchair or that is on crutches to climb to get into the bus without having to fall down. Inside the buses, there are also spaces where it is already designated for the people with disabilities and all of that to stay. Like you cannot stay there if you're not disabled. So everything is well organized. It just makes me feel like they carry everybody along regardless of your status, your living, regardless of anything that's happening, basically, whether you are okay, you're not okay, everybody is treated equally. That's how I see it. I love the disability, the whole prioritizing of the people with disabled. Unlike Nigeria, our buses does not have that system of where you have to like you have where only people that are disabled can stay. People that are not disabled cannot stay there. There are seat belts meant for them. You help them around the buses and all of those beautiful stuffs. Another thing is, even when you park in when you go to where you want to park here in Canada, there are so many places that you see. There's a sign on the floor that says for the disabled, or like you already see a sign that shows like a wheelchair. I mean, you know that this parking space is for people living with disabilities. That means any other person cannot park there if you are not disabled, and if you're also disabled, if you're not disabled and you park there, trust me, you're violating the rule and you'll be fined heavily, like hundreds of dollars. I feel like that way it makes people well organized and adhere to instructions. We have people with disabilities a lot in Nigeria, but to be very honest, we do not prioritize them like that. In fact, you will find out that they'll be struggling with bosses like people that are not disabled. Yeah, it's only the kind ones among them that would say, "Oh, please let this woman enter, or let this man enter. She's not feeling fine, or she's disabled," and all of that. So I love that. I love that everybody is carried along in this particular place. And that's just that about that. When it comes to public transportation, it is reliable, organized, unlike Nigeria. Now let's talk about the road. Yeah, very, 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 very important. When it comes to the road in Canada, here the roads are well maintained with clear traffic signs. Yeah, I'm going to emphasize on clear traffic signs. Now, I don't think I've not seen any faded traffic sign. I've not seen any traffic sign that is faded. That you now, when you now maybe violate the rules, you now have an excuse for, oh, I did not see it. It's faded. Everything is well inscribed here, if that's the English. So you will see everything perfectly well. Unlike Nigeria, our traffic signs, they are not well inscribed. They did it well, but because of maybe rain or any other thing, or like constant passing on the road, it has faded and they have not done anything about it. So people tend to violate the rules, even though even if it is clear, they'll still violate the rules. Because I mean, even if you tell them, oh, don't do this, the police officer said they'll just be there. You get the point. So it is highly maintained here in Canada. The roads are highly maintained. Like there are very, very good roads. Trust me, there are bad roads too, but there are more good roads than there are bad roads in this country. And I love how they maintain the road during winter. You know, during winter, that when snow falls, the road tends to get slippery because of ice and all of that. There is something they pour on the floor. I think it's like salt or something that makes everything melt, so that to reduce accidents and all of that. Talking about the road in Nigeria, our roads are not so good. Maybe the roads in the urban areas like the cities and all of that, yeah. But the roads in the rural areas, crazy, 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 very bad roads, which can cause more accidents than cause more harm than good, basically. So I feel like when it comes to the road, everything here in Canada is well organized and well maintained at all seasons. And also, I heard something that even people that have their personal cars, there is something called the winter tire, whereby when it is very snowy or during winter, you can easily change your tire from a summer tire to a winter tire, which is really, really beautiful. Everything is in the it's just a way to reduce accidents. Don't get me wrong, there are accidents that happen here, I'm sure, on a daily basis, but it might just be as a result of negligence or ignorance, not really because of a particular road defect or default, basically. Also, let's talk about the traffic congestion. The traffic congestion in Canada, yeah, I've experienced traffic. I mean, like slow traffics, but it can never be compared to the traffic congestion in Nigeria. The traffic congestion in Nigeria is very crazy, especially if you lived in a place like Lagos. I lived in Lagos for like a year plus, and that's like the hardest time of my life because, bruh, the traffic is crazy. And even I feel like even in Canada, if there is traffic, you see everybody maintaining their lane, being at peace, talking to each other calmly, following the rules and regulation. But when there is traffic in Nigeria, you guys already know, my Nigerians, I love my country so much. When there is traffic in Nigeria, you guys already know, like everywhere is always like a chaos, running up and down. So people use the opportunity to steal so many crazy things, and you can spend hours and hours in that traffic, and then you just find that they are going nowhere, especially in Lagos. If you live in Lagos, you can testify to this. So that's that about the transportation system in Canada versus Nigeria. I've not really had to take so many transports in like so many public transports in Canada because my husband is mobile and he mostly takes me anywhere I'm going to. But the ones I've had to take, and from my experience and from my research, this is everything that I have to say about it. Nigeria is a really, really beautiful country, but we just pray and hope that everything gets more structured and well organized and people listen to instructions. I feel like one of the problems that we have is that we don't listen to instructions. We just tend to do things the way we want to do it, basically. Yeah, so that's that. If you stay in Nigeria, please let me know in the comment section if you can relate to everything I said about the public transportation system in Nigeria. And if you stay in Canada also, let me know if you can relate. If you're planning on relocating to Canada from Nigeria, I'm sure you have learned a lot from this video. So you're expecting to have a better life, if I do say so myself, and a better transport system experience. So that's that for this video. Let me know if you really enjoyed this video and it was helpful for you. And let me know what kind of video you would love to see from me next. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and do all of that good stuff. It makes me really happy, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.